Hi there, this is Shauna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Today we'll be talking about IEP accommodations, what they are, and what are some good ones that you can ask for if you have a struggling reader. First of all, an accommodation means that your child will be covering the same material as the rest of the class. They'll be working on the same assignment or the same test. The difference is that we can change the format or the setting or the timing of that assignment or test in ways that will optimize your child's chance of success. We're trying here to activate their ability instead of their disability. So what are some accommodations that are useful for struggling readers? The number one all-time favorite that I always ask for my son is extra time. The gift of time can make all the difference for some kids. It might mean that they get a longer time to write their test or an extended deadline to work on an assignment. It's not always something that you need, but it's nice that the student can have it. So I would always ask for that during the IEP writing session. Another thing that might be useful is you could ask that your child has the opportunity to preview materials that are coming up in the class. One other great thing would be some kids might need a quiet space so that they can get their work done because they might be more susceptible to that noisy environment, get distracted. When a student's struggling with reading and they're having trouble accessing the content in the class, the school might offer someone to read the information for the child, and that might come in the form of an SEA. I think it's great to put the power in the hands of the child whenever we can. So instead of using an SEA, one great solution is to use the computer, and the student could use a text-to-speech option and have headphones on. When I teach a regular class, I make that option available to all students, and then it doesn't seem like it's an unusual thing to have in the classroom. And students can either choose to read something themselves, or they can just put on the headphones and get on a computer and have it read to them. That's called universal design for learning, when you have these accessibility tools readily accessible to all the students in the classroom so that you destigmatize the accommodations. If you have a struggling reader, then one accommodation that makes a lot of sense is ask the teacher not to have your child read out loud in class, unless your child chooses to do so, but no forced read alouds. Another thing you could ask for is you could ask for an extra set of textbooks at home, or perhaps a copy of the class notes. For dyslexic kids, word scrambles and crossword puzzles can be quite challenging, so you could ask for your child not to have to go through the crossword and word scrambles that teachers often like to give. Another useful accommodation is that when students are required to do a demand write, meaning that or a free write, your child should not be marked off on spelling. One final one that I would suggest is teachers are often fond of giving spelling tests, and they'll give a list of 10 totally unrelated words. If your child is dyslexic, and this really hits to the heart of what it is to be dyslexic, because your child doesn't have a strong visual center to just take a snapshot of that word. It's actually a very difficult task that the teacher probably doesn't realize what they're asking of the student, like how difficult it actually is. So you could ask the teacher that if she wants to assign spelling lists, could she please do it by word family, so that there's something to hang on to for the child. So then maybe like the last part of the word or the base would be a common base. So for example, if I had ject as my word family, I could have inject, reject, project, and that would be totally fair. Those are my suggestions for accommodations that could be listed on the IEP of a struggling reader. This is Shauna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Thanks for listening.